Hi dear friends, so let's analyze these questions. Here in the first question we can see in our daily lives we often do something, our separate identities. So keyword here is separate identities. It's highlighted like this. Okay, so let me do like this. So separate identities. You can you can have an identity at work and another online, for example. So it means like maybe separating. No, renounce doesn't mean like claiming, merging. It's like mixing, compartmentalize. Yeah, it means to divide into components. Such something. Okay. So when we divide, there are some divisions, right? It's not uncertainties. It's not correlations. Boundary. Yeah, boundary because we divide into something and there's a boundary, there's a wall. So that's why the answers are C and F. Okay, so probably you know most of these words, and let's say we can take here uncertainties, and we can take here, for example, correlations, and the only confusing point maybe like the word like merge, but it's not merging; it is dividing. And it's not renouncing because claiming that it's you are don't do something, so it's weird here. So for the second one, have often shrill that, so like panic that, cry that, something is dying, so we talk about something. Apologist, no, it's weird here because we don't talk about theorists. And probably you heard about apologists as people who also excuse for something, or supporters of something. Okay, like apologists of some theories, let's say. Optimist, no, it's not optimist because it's a very good word. Scaremongers, yeah, this would be a good word. Well, I got run off of from the some Queensland's coast. Long abandoned, overfarmed. Well, we can't say anything because we need to read the second sentence. In truth, so in reality, so it will probably show the contrast. The preserve of the reef is something, a combination of active government and beneficial effects of responsible tourism. So actually, active governmental intervention and beneficial effects of responsible tourism. So for the Queensland coast, we can't say it's long abandoned because there are tourists and government intervention. I don't think that scaremongers would say it's well preserved, but probably it's overfarmed. Overfarmed, it's negative because it is positive, it is negative, and this is also negative. But this one we can't take because of government intervention and tourism. Long abandoned is the territory that is pristine, untouched, and is based on impracticality. No, because we talk about something positive, beneficial. Remains a matter of controversy. Look, something controversial is when we talk about some bad things, but here we talk active governmental intervention and beneficial effects. It's not controversy. Is something of a success story? Yeah, why not? This one's correct. Okay, let me clean this ones. And let's turn to the third one. A hallmark often knows was the reform of the agenda of the authors who ostensibly. It is very important to highlight this word. Look, ostensibly so to expose economic injustice. So they wanted to show off they deliberately focused on this economic injustice while depicting the seamy on the side, very bad scandals, very bad on the side. Okay. In real, however, this comes to a radical political agenda were often So it we talk about in reality, and however, as we see from this example as well, it's opposite. So in reality, it's probably not the same. It's not authentic. It's not complicated. We don't talk about something complicated. Well, yeah, disingenuous. It's like not candid, not truthful. Yeah. Okay, mean to give lurid. Thrillers, the appearance of. Well, this negative views, the appearance of importance, probably. Escapist appeal. We don't talk about escaping. Vice versa. We want to focus on it. High-minded purpose, maybe. Gripping suspense. Well, we can say that it's gripping suspense, but there is one problem with the word suspense. It's about being worried about something, and attractive worry. It's a bit weird. That's why high-minded purpose. Yeah, they just want to panic over this, and in order to attract others, attract people to this. Let's say to that situation. Okay. Let's look at the fourth one. Okay. Here we can see. Within the field of emotional intelligence research, disagreements remain about whether the emotional intelligence can be learned and strengthened, or it is so. If something can be learned and strengthened, or something is fixed, cannot be changed. Expressed, no. Inborn, great word. Why not? Invented, no. Cultivated, no. It's the same, like learned, formed. Perceptible, no. Cannot be perceived. So inborn is great. Okay, so this is the easy one. Okay, let's now move on the next one. So 5. So is the reputation of a country, political corruption. So we talk about corruption and other forms of. Okay, other forms of corruption is a form of indolence. No. By the way, do you know what the meaning of indolence? Indolence is like when you talk about something, let's say laziness, procrastination, incompetence. You know, criminality, because corruption is criminality, definitely. Newly appointed police chief pledged to. So here, pledged to probably reform because everyone wants to change. So it's not about contradicting, no, because the new one is a kind of tradition, so we can't contradict it or reward it because it's bad. Reform is good. But what can be told about the first one? What do you think about the first one? Is it paralyzed, or is it something like persisted? Well, here we need to be careful because the clue is in the sentence itself. Look, if you just pay attention to the second part of the sentence, particularly to the kind of tradition, we can see that here it says it's a tradition, so it hasn't changed. So it means we need to choose something close to the word traditional. And unfounded, you know what it means, that the word unfounded. You know what paralyzing means because it's like making something like broken, damaged. Persisted, it's something like for a long period of time. So that's why here persisted is more logical. Okay. And you see the first blank is answered third, because without reading the word tradition, kind of tradition, we can't find the correct answer. Okay, let's move on. 6. The critic thought that the mark of great literature was grandiosity and elegance. Mark of great literature, not to be found in common speech. So common speech is key. Okay. Writer seeking his approbation. The vernacular. Okay. Well, The critic thought so. Those who want to think about his approbation. What does approbation mean? Well, approbation is when we, let's say, approbation is when we talk about something like sanctioning, something like trying to praise. And if the critic thought that the great literature is grandiosity and not and the words that not found in the common speech, and vernacular, it's a very key word, by the way, you need to know this word, it's quite frequently used. Vernacular means common speech, so it means actually that they eschewed, they avoided the vernacular because he thought that in common speech it shouldn't be found. It's very great, it's elegant, and that's why writers who thought about his approbation, sorry. And by the way, you need to know the word approbative as well, because approbative means like praise, deserving being praised. Okay. Okay. So that's why eschewed. He exploit is wrong. No, they don't embrace, because it should be opposite, something negative. Misapplied, wrongly applied. No, consider no. Eschew is avoid, and that's why it's correct. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next question. Due to many in his committee presentation, Mark suggests that he revised his work. So he revises, so there's some problem. Facilities, no. This word, by the way, means some literature phrase, and actually it's like a post. It's some like something talking about your dissatisfaction, your regret, complaints, and so on. So some piece of writing showing complaints. So wrong. Gaffe, yeah, it's a French word and shows mistake, the meaning of mistake. By the way, you need to be very careful with this word. It is very rarely used, but ablakwe. So this means like shame, but it's wrong for this context. Well, and abusive language. Exploits, no. Why exploits? There are just something that we need to revise, so there are mistakes. Okay, let's now continue. While in the conversation, the unique way of athletics and academics are combined in the Marcus and do not. So, so the unique way of athletics and academics are combined in university. Athletic and Restman don't. This vision of comparability, of course, and with the intellectual mission. So, well, there is while, so the contrast should be present, and they think that the unique way is to combine them, but they don't think that it's good to compare college athletics and their intellectual missions. So, fully endorsed, maybe. International recapitulate. Recapitulate, like summarize, no. So entirely misconstrue, destroy, no. Fully endorse, yeah, because we talk about supporting, we talk about considering something. Okay, neither do they regard college athletics as they believe that big time sports have a rightful place in the university life. And okay, they believe that big time sports have a rightful place in university life. So probably they consider it as something so negative. Why? Because big time sport, and we talk about so we approach it in a bit negative way. They approach it in a bit negative way because they don't think that it's good to idealize, and so indispensable, no, because they don't think let's say athletics, college athletics is something like a, let's say something important for colleges. Profitable, no. Venal, yeah, it's negative. By the way, even just by knowing that this is positive, and this is negative, we can find that this is the correct answer. Well, we can also choose the neither do they regard. So they don't think that college athletics is very important, too important, and they think that it has its rightful place. So it means that it has the place it deserves. So it's not very important, very important. Okay, that's why here the answer is we know. Be careful. Rightful is not right, good. Okay, rightful means the place that it deserves. Okay. So. Now let's turn on the next questions, 9 and 10. So in 9 we see the candidate capable of decisive leadership. So in stark contrast to this. So if he is decisive, this one shouldn't be decisive. And we can choose belligerence and pugnacity, which means liking to argue. Defensiveness is wrong, corruption is wrong, irresolution and vacillation. Vacillate is like fluctuating, not being able to decide. Okay, and let's move on the next question. So here we can see the research from Gregory's book on vegetarianism appears to be something with a great deal of revealing details, so many details on display, and more than a third of a text taken up with footnotes. So it means that there are explanations. Uneven, by the way, you need to know what uneven means. It's not from math, like even terms. No, uneven means like something not flat, something not regulated, let's say, something unfixed. So it's weird here. Excessive, unnecessary. No, they don't talk about too much, for example, too much detail. Yeah, in this case it will be excessive. Exhaustive, don't confuse with being exhausted. Okay, exhaustive means full with many, including many detail, and let's say having enough information, much information, like including many details. It can be. So mixed, no. Why mixed? Inconsistent, no. We don't talk something negative. Comprehensive, yeah, it's very detailed. So C and F are great here. Here it is. There are all explanations to the question. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy.